Better than the regular release mids? I think so, and it's in more ways than one. Let's go ahead and check these bad boys out. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and breakdown on these bad boys right here. This is the Puma MB.04 Low in what is being dubbed the Alien Skins colorway. Now, before we get started, a couple of things off the top. First of which, there's only a few of these bad boys left, and I'm talking about a very few, like under 20. So thank you guys so much for supporting the launch. But if you are interested in grabbing one of these hoodies, do so now before it's too late. Links are down below in the description box, and you can find them exclusively over at SenseApparel.com. And with that being said, we have a quick word from today's sponsor, and that's the good folks over at Tester Up. Tester Up lets you earn money by testing out apps, whether that's by playing games or answering survey questions. All you have to do is sign up, pick an app to test, share your feedback, and start earning money. It's completely free, quick, and easy to register. You can make up to $80 per app test. And the best part is that the payouts hit your account within 24 hours. And if all of that sounds a little too good to be true, rest assured, as they have a 4.2 out of 5 rating on Trustpilot. So if you wanted to give Tester Up a try, all you got to do is head over to our description box down below, click the link, it'll send you over there where you can download everything, register, and start earning money.
Make it rain all day long.
Now, the packaging for LaMelo's line has been awesome all the way since the beginning. This one's no different. It looks very similar to what we've been seeing with the other launches of the MB.04s. The difference is that the contents inside feature these sexy low tops instead of the mids. Low tops are my jam, so this right here I just think is awesome. I didn't even remember that they were doing a low, so when these came in I was like, oh, this is sick. There's a few things that I absolutely love that they changed compared to the mids. There's a couple of things on here that I just simply wish weren't. First of which is the traction right here. The traction, it's not bad, but it's also not great. All the grooves that would be in typical or standard herringbone are, spread out throughout and things like that, which is great. It's just that it's super compact and tight. So on select courts, this outsole right here just does not work for me. This is both indoors and outdoors. Some of the outdoor courts, it works great, but if there's some of the dirtier or dustier ones, not so much. But if it's that heavily graveled, you know what I mean? It's got texture to it, like a tennis court, select tennis courts, then it usually works fine. And indoors, if there's a lot of dust present, these things are like skates. But if it's on a clean court, they grip pretty well. But as of right now, I just don't love the outsole as much as I had some of the past models. Specifically the one, I think the one's translucent outsoles are still, the greatest of the line. But again, it really depends on the court that you're playing on and its overall condition. So good luck. The cushioning hasn't changed much. So we still have an EVA foam carrier. Inside that, there's a heel and forefoot nitro foam puck. They're not literally pucks, shaped like that, but they are pads in there. They do need a little bit of braking time. Everything's a little stiff, mostly because it's caged within this TPU housing right here. But I will say that this version of the shoe is much less restrictive feeling overall than the mid tops and everything like that. That's a lot to do with what they've done to the upper. But overall, we've got that TPU cage on there. I think that it's great for lateral stability, overall durability, and it just kind of looks cool too. So there's that. But again, as far as comfort goes, they do feel just like the mids. You just got to break them in a little bit. Do I think that they're the most comfortable out of the line? No, I still would give that to the ones, but I do think that they are very comfortable if you give them time. The insole is this guy right here. Nothing really fancy or special. If you wanted to swap it out with anything else, go for it. It's completely up to you. The upper is where the most notable changes are made, and they are my favorite changes of the shoe, not just from a visual perspective, but also from a wearability standpoint. So we've got all textile everything, which is very similar to the mid. They removed all of that TPU and rubberized kind of caging that's all over the place on the mid top. So that's what made that shoe feel very forefoot, I guess, heavy, just because there was so much lack of flex, because you had to really break those things in order to get them to be really flexible with your foot. These things right from a try on, I was like, yo, this is way better. This feels so much better than the mids. It was incredible. So yeah, some of you guys are gonna absolutely love this. Some of you might prefer the other one. Some people do like a more stiff ride.
That's what she said.
For me though, I think that this is a better move. It might not be quite as durable, but I think that it'll still last plenty long, you know what I mean? I don't think that you're gonna burn through the upper before you say burn through the outsole. And on top of that, you're not losing any of the cool design stuff that they actually put on all of his shoes. You're still able to fully print graphics and whatever weird colors and all that stuff throughout. So they didn't need the rubberized cage on there in the first place. So I think that removing it again was a great move. There is still some TPU materials. It's mostly in the high wear areas and stress zones like the eye stay, toe drag areas, stuff like that. I will say that the toe drag spot is different on a lot of shoes. So when you see little TPU welding pieces for toe dragging, sometimes it's a full bumper, sometimes it's right at the tip of the big toe, and then like this one here, it's on the inside, so the medial side of the big toe, and that's just the way that LaMelo moves his foot. So if you pay attention to his footwork, he crosses and drags this way, whereas Kyrie moves all over the place. He'll toe drag, all that stuff. So it's just a little bit different. You got to pay attention kind of to their footwork, and then you'll start to be able to see the, I wouldn't say exclusive design language, but why things are where they are and how they operate. The tongue is the one thing that I just wish was changed a little bit. I don't love the giant pull tab and the giant tongue and stuff like that resting on my shins and my ankles. I didn't love it on the mids. I still don't love it on the lows. I halfway want to cut this thing off. I just don't like ruining shoes like that, but in this case it might make sense. If you just cut it right above that halo, I think it'll still look kind of clean. Everything else about the collar and the sculpting and all of that stuff I love. I love the way that it feels. I love the way that it fits and sits around my ankles, my Achilles, my heel. I like the liner that they used inside. It's all super comfortable. So for all of that stuff, I think it's great. Just this, too much. Speaking of too much, this thing, bro, like, it's cool, but it's also just a lot. You know what I mean? The way that it expands off the shoe is just kind of interesting. Maybe on purpose. Maybe it's giving you that jarring kind of visual so that you'll talk about it. But yeah, it's just a little weird. I don't know. But maybe you love the visual. Who knows? Now, as far as sizing is concerned, they do fit true to size. Whatever you typically wear, that is exactly what I would order. If you already have the mids, order the same exact thing with these guys. They fit exactly the same. It's just that toe area, or that whole forefoot area, really feels a lot less restrictive without all of that TPU and plastic on there. These feel great. Wide footers, I definitely would recommend trying them on in store if possible, just to be safe. These are, I wouldn't say narrow, but they're definitely snug. There's a lot of padding in there, not just around the rear, but the tongue also. So just try them on in store if possible. If not, obviously order them online. And again, if you have the mids, order the same size. You should be good to go. By the way, if you've skipped any of the LaMelo releases, all you have to know is that they use the same last on every single model. So whatever you wore in the previous, that is what I would recommend for the newer ones. So whether you only wore the ones or the twos, same last for all four of them, and you should be fine. And with all of that being said, what is today's user submitted question of the day, assuming that you didn't hijack this one?
What are your thoughts on the Vans old school style 36 plus? Would this be better than the new schools in your opinion?
What did you call them? Vans old school? Oh, here they are. I don't think I like those.
Why? They're very in between.
I know, but I don't like the, hold on, let me see a better image. I'll say they're not awful. There's something about the new school that is so retro, but 2000s. Like, they look like the old school, which is great, which is a slim model. And then you've got the bulky aesthetic of the 2000s. So it's like an amalgam of retro and nostalgia, which I like. This, to me, even though I understand what they're going for, feels a little bit more on the modern side mixed with nostalgia. Like they're like trying to do something different, which is cool. That's what we want from these brands and stuff. So I do like it. I just don't know. It could just also be the colorways. They're kind of tonal right now. So like maybe if there's some paneling that gets colored up, that would be, you know, fantastic. I only see black ones and cream ones.
Oh, the first one I pulled up was a green and black one. And
Show me. Hopefully we're looking at the same shoe. I'm looking at a different shoe. Because that's the old school 36. What did the person say?
Thoughts on the Vans old school style 36 plus?
Oh, because I'm looking at the old school 36, what they're calling the FM.
Yeah, this says, like, when you're on their website, skate old school 36 plus. So maybe I'm looking at the wrong one.
I guess I could talk about both of them. When we're talking about the world of SEO, search engine optimization, it's those search words, those keywords that you're typing in, when they reuse them all the time for different shoe names, even though they're all the same shoe names, Google can't decipher what exactly you're looking for. So sometimes it's just weird. But yeah, if we're talking about the old school 36, those are dope. They are a little bit different than the regular old school. Like, they're very OG looking. So like if you go all the way back into Vans archives and you look at their older models like that, that's how they did look, with the little tiny toe. And so yeah, it's definitely a different flavor. I will say that I like modern old school and the new school better than the 36, but only slightly. I still think that the 36 and select colorways look fantastic. The checkered ones get me every time. They could be an in any fucking color, make them checkered, and
Shut up and take my money.
yeah, I really like both models. And again, if we're talking about that new 36 model, the FM or whatever they called it, they're kind of marshmallowy. Like, here, let me show you, just so that you know what I was talking about, because they were totally different shoes.
Oh, yeah, the ones I found are way better.
Yes. So, and this puffy shoe is supposed to be a mix of that shoe, but kind of like the new school where they like modernize it a little bit. Not my favorite thing. So those are my thoughts, but yeah, I love Vans. I think the Vans are fantastic. But sound off below and let us know your thoughts on the Vans 36 as well as the 36 FM. I can't remember even what they were called. The puffy one. And on top of all of that, sound off below and let us know what you think about these bad boys in the comment section. Do you like the MB.04s? How do you feel about the low top version? I think that these are great. I can't wait to see them in more colorways. This first one is fantastic. I really like the colors on here. The blues, the pinks, they look really good. This is my flavor right here. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. We greatly appreciate your guys' time. We will catch y'all in the next one. So until then, you guys have a good one.